Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Coach Bill's Sports Show. I'm Coach Bill. Talk a little bit about college football, fantasy football, play a little NCAA football. We'll get into some NFL more as the season progresses. But today, we're going to take a look at Kentucky. So let's huddle up and let's get into it. Kentucky this season, I think, lives and dies by Will Lewis, their quarterback. Will Lewis, after transferring to Penn State, really started making a name for himself in the Bluegrass State. He's a big, strong-armed, NFL talent quarterback. Projections are showing him as a third quarterback off the board, number 4 pick overall right now. It's no slouch. He's going to have to prove him right. A little easier said at the beginning of the season. They start the season off with Miami, Ohio, Youngstown State, and Northern Illinois. If Kentucky isn't 3-0 after that, Florida's in there in week 2. So if they don't go 3-0 between Miami, Ohio, Youngstown State, and Northern Illinois, I might just eat a shoe, because I'll be surprised. The real test is week 2 in Florida for their first 4 games. Florida is a big wild card. We'll get into them in more depth later on, but new coach, ton of talent. They can go a couple different ways, and it really depends on how much buy-in he gets down there with the talent he has. He could go the route of Tennessee and South Carolina last year, where they surprised everybody and were bowl game eligible and were really competitive. He could go the other route and kind of do what Sarkisian had to do in Texas, and he may have to clear out some bad seeds. I don't know. I'm not in that locker room, so I don't know that dynamic, but those first 4 games, I have them going 4-0. I have them beating Florida. Kentucky can do it. Kentucky can beat Florida. Florida has talent, but Kentucky can do it. Ole Miss is in week 5, and they set up as a trap game for me. They are after a weaker opponent and before South Carolina, which is a big test in the East. They may go under the radar at that point. But their offensive scheme is hard to defend against, and they will require you to put up points against them. We'll see a lot about who Will Lewis is and who this Kentucky team is in Ole Miss in that game. After that, they have South Carolina. South Carolina's game versus Kentucky, I think, comes down solely to the quarterbacks. Is Spencer Rattler who we thought he was when he was a Heisman candidate? Or is he the guy that got replaced last season? We don't know. South Carolina's got a solid team. The question will be, who wins that battle between the quarterbacks? Is it Will Lewis? Does he show out? Or is it South Carolina? If Kentucky can get Spencer Rattler, get to him and disrupt his timing, and Will Lewis can put up points, they can push South Carolina to score points, which has been hard for them to do, and they can really put them on their heels. Have Kentucky winning that game. Next on the list is Mississippi State. I don't see much of an issue with that, especially since it's before a bye week. Should be a fairly easy game for them to walk into and be like, you know what, yeah, we are who we thought we are. The question for me is between Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Mississippi State. can they go undefeated? I think they lose one of those 3 games. I don't know which one because they're all very close for me, except for Mississippi State. They're all really close for me. So if they can go into that bye with 1 loss or no losses, that's huge for them. Because down the stretch, their final 5 games are a little bit of fun. You get Georgia and Tennessee in your final 5 games at Kentucky. You also get Vanderbilt, Missouri, and one of your bigger rivals in Louisville. This will be where this season hinges on for them. It's this final game stretch. If they come in with 1 loss or no losses, there could be a lot of pressure on them. And you don't want to have that amount of pressure when you see Tennessee, a team that you've traditionally struggled with, who is doing well under a new head coach, or Kentucky, who is the returning national champions. Yes, they're replacing some. Yes, Georgia's replacing some stuff. But it's still Georgia. You don't win a national championship without having some serious talent on the team. Tennessee broke all sorts of offensive records last year in Knoxville, and they've got a lot of those pieces coming back. So those 2 games I have for losses is Kentucky. But they can beat Vanderbilt. They can beat Missouri. Louisville was a question for me just because historically they've not been super dominant in this game. It's always been closer than anybody ever really projected. But I have them beating Louisville. Currently, I have them as a 9-3 seed, a 9-3 team from the SEC. If that happens, they're looking at the Las Vegas Bowl, the Gator Bowl, something in that echelon for a bowl game. And as Kentucky, that's big. That's a big get for Kentucky to be able to be like, hey, look, we're an SEC team. We've got a quarterback that's going to go in the top 5, and we're going to these bowls. Come play for us. Do I think Kentucky has it in them to play with the Georgias and the Alabamas yet? No. They don't. But could they? Yeah, they definitely could. They've got a lot of support up in Kentucky. They got a lot of financial support. Plus, that basketball team doesn't hurt. Helps pay some bills. Helps build some workout area for them. So yeah, Kentucky, 9-3 team. Got them right now going to the Las Vegas Bowl, which is a good game to be in. My one question for Kentucky, and I'll leave it after this, is Will Lewis. Is he who we think he is? Who we think he is? This big-armed talent at quarterback, or was it some of the wide receivers that he had last year? We'll find out. We'll find out quickly in that season, especially with Florida in week 2. But I think it was Will Lewis. I got faith in the boy. Even though he made the decision to go to Penn State, he figured out, hey, this isn't the place for me. Let me go somewhere else. Went to Kentucky and has done nothing but shown true class since being there. So, Kentucky, 9-3 team. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Again, I'm Coach Bill. Let me know what you thought about this. If you think Kentucky's a better team than I'm giving them credit for, maybe they're a worse team. Maybe you see some other teams beating them that I think they can beat fairly easily. Just let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ready, break.